Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Townsend Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, March 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
James Drouin, present.
James Skates.
Kevin Smith.
Oh, I should announce that you're here. Just the.
Oh, Autumn Buck. Present. I got some in here. Yep, thank you.
Kevin, if you don't mind leading us all in pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, James.
It froze up for a second.
I didn't notice.
Rhythm went off for a second.
I've only said it every day for 40 years.
This meeting is being recorded. Is anyone else recording? Chairman's additions and or deletions. Were there anything that we needed to add?
No.
Good. Anyone else? Chair report. We do not have anything to report that is not in the agent's report. Review and approve meeting minutes from 2/28/24. Everyone have a chance to look?
Yes, good.
Make a motion.
Yeah, everyone? We have a motion and a second?
Kevin started.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for February 28th, 2024.
James Drouin, yes.
So we have a second?
Second, Jim?
I'll second.
Now roll call vote.
Tim Drouin, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Uh, 1.7 agent report. Autumn.
Okay, this covers February 28th to March 13th. We had no building permit sign-offs, but we are reviewing a building permit application at 16 Todd Drive, 65 Main Street again tonight, and 2 Capricorn Lane reached out to me and let me know that they're going to be submitting an NOI toward the end of this month. For ZBA referrals, we have ANRs at 152 North End Road, 23 Shirley Road, and 27 Bayberry Hill Road. Those are in the binder for us to review. Actually, I think they're right here. Yep. We can do that later in the meeting though. So site visits for at Old Meeting House Park, Rail Trail, and 27 Scales Lane this week.
What was seen at Scales? Was it, we're gonna do that at 3.3? OC extension, 27?
No, site visits that I've done were just things that, like sites that I visited in the past 2 weeks.
Hold on a second. Pat, do you mind just announcing you're here at 7:04, please?
Yep, Pat Jomo, time 7:04.
Thank you. Continue on, I'm sorry.
Did you have a question about that?
Yeah, because I had gone out and visited with Brett. And I thought he was gonna finish up with the 2 lines coming out of the overflow. He was gonna do some loaming at the bottom, some rock. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's still a mist. It isn't done yet.
No, it's not done yet, but I went out with Jessica just so I could be brought up to speed on the permit and everything.
Alright,
It was
that's
just a check-in site visit.
That's all. Okay.
Are we going?
Violations or anything.
So we did the
I have
extension.
not been on the property. So
He filed the extension, so it was all set, right? Until,
We're reviewing the extension tonight.
Right.
And
so that's 3.3 done. I'm all set.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
have a copy of the paper?
yeah, it's right there in front of you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
88 Meadow Road, that's the culvert replacement. The total fines are up to $4,500 as of last meeting. But the site plan was submitted on March 7th, so I've held up on issuing fines as we're reviewing the application, and it seems to be, we're reviewing it for completeness.
But he's got it accrued to $4,500.
Yep.
For culvert replacement.
Yep,
Very good,
Did he,
very good.
give you a check? When you
No,
submitted the-
no, he hasn't paid the fines yet, but I did let him know that, the OOC would possibly not be issued until the fines were paid, so he was made aware of that.
And how was that taken?
Mm. Okay,
Okay, not a loaded question, I didn't know.
yeah, I mean,
Okay,
so he did make a point to submit the site plan last week before the next fine was due, so that's good. And then we had the fine for $100 that was sent out to 56 Bayberry Road. That was paid yesterday. That was for the failure to file the OOC. I think
in
that
the
was
registry of deeds.
yep. Yeah, I think that was
Jimmy was
a,
looking at me and just,
Hey. A lot of words with fines and
yeah, I think that was a reasonable fine amount for that type of violation.
are you in agreement, Jim?
well, the 96
No,
56 Bayberry Hill,
for $96 for not putting in an OOC.
$100 fine for not,
No,
Yeah.
$100 fine.
With the, okay,
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if it prompts people and if it's, you know, the
Yep.
right way to do it, so be it.
I just wanted you.
No,
Sounded
like
you
I
were
said,
I wanted to make sure
we could discuss this in the future, maybe a set in stone type, action plan for things like this, but at this point, it's kind of up to my discretion, so I like to err on the side of giving them a chance before I issue fines, like at 25 Worcester Road. I like to, we come across something like that and there's a violation, I like to give them an opportunity. So Jessica did reach out to this property owner back in November and let them know that they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Mhm.
So that's why there was a $100 fine issued, but that was remediated and the fine was paid, so we can move on. 108, 110 West Meadow, there's a stream of sediment from the project limits was
Silt fence
observed.
filled
Yeah, silt
in a
fence.
small area.
Yeah. So we should think about possibly, it was noted to the property owner that the silt fence was not properly installed in that area. And so now down the line, it did fail. So we can think about fining them or just follow-up action,
Is that Phil?
whatever you guys recommend. I can
So
do for
who
that.
went to look at it to see and say that it's failed?
Jessica, she saw it
So she took
before
a
it
walk down
failed.
into the back?
Yeah.
Yep, there's pictures of it too, I have.
All right, you know as well as I had prompted you about that.
No, a year ago, and he's had other subsequent inspections.
Mhm.
This
Okay.
inspection was done in February. He was made aware of it, failed.
So what
To do it
is it?
properly.
Has it gotten into Lockbrook? That would be my question, if she was
Did it get
diligent to see if any turbidity got to Lockbrook.
very minimal, made it all the way. Jessica?
Hey, Jim, I took a whole bunch of photos, so if you want to stop by the office at some point tomorrow, me or Autumn can show you. But I think it was probably just a tributary of Brook, but it was quite steep and it ran straight over the silt fence right down into the stream. It's definitely like a headwater stream, groundwater sea type source, but
Yeah, but it still shouldn't be minimized in that regard. I'm not saying you are, but it's still into a waterway.
Yeah, because everything will lead into Lockbrook.
Harley, can you give Autumn screen sharing, please? Doing good on time, so.
And I got the impression.
I don't think Autumn's on. FYI.
What?
I don't think Autumn's on.
Yeah,
you
Autumn
leave?
needs to sign in along with
Okay.
everyone else, and I can let her in as
Jessica,
a screen share.
could you pull up the pictures quickly, or?
Yes,
I mean,
or
I
you
don't
have
wanna
an
hold it
appointment in
up.
5 minutes and we can.
Okay,
after.
Jessica, should I let you screen share?
Yeah, sure, Harley, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Hartley.
No problem.
It's not a ton.
Mhm.
We don't, it's pretty, but let's look at it quickly and.
If he's taking care of it and he's got it,
He hasn't taken care of it yet. It's been brought to his
Jimmy,
attention.
the way I personally look at it is he was made aware a month ago about this
through Jessica and the inspection.
for stormwater.
Correct.
So yeah, so
You're good.
until yesterday, everything that was going on at this property was outside of Conscom jurisdiction, but most recently I had him install 2 temporary sediment basins because as you can see, there's quite a bit of runoff and it's very steep slopes and all the vegetation was scrapped. And unfortunately, because of the failure to maintain the silt fence, the sediment from the most previous storm washed right over and down into a stream.
Can you show us the failure at the silt fence and then the
So
sediment?
there's 2 different failure areas.
Right, that's the
One
heavy.
where it went over the stream. I'm just trying to see for the best picture here for y'all. I guess that's not that too bad.
All right, so he's got that's the picture that tells the tale for me. I see
Yep.
that, okay.
So he did install
Zach on that.
he installed
If he
straw
hasn't
wattles.
got it yet,
Let her finish.
He installed straw wattles, but I think that almost made it worse because the sediment could just creep up and over them that much more easily.
Yeah, that's typical. That's a normal detail.
But so this is looking down the hill, downstream. That's looking back up the hill toward the failure. You can see the path of the water. And then you can very clearly see the sediment. And then just right beyond this Greenbrier here is where a little stream started. So I walked all the way down to it.
Do you have a picture of it or?
No,
Okay.
that's looking back up though. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, I've been in communication with the owner. He's well aware of his responsibilities to fix the silt fence where it
Cool.
failed in these 2 spots.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for interrupting, Jess.
That's fine.
So is there anything else that anyone wants to add? Do we want to issue
Any fines
a fine
to be issued, or what's the follow-up action that you'd like?
follow-up action to repair? I think $100 fine just to,
Get in there, repair it, yeah, if you feel like we gotta smack it a little bit, that's.
There should be no hesitation. I had spoken to you, I spoke
well, a year ago and he addressed
a
it.
year ago, makes no difference. The point of it is a commissioner knows he lives up above me, he should have been more aware of it. Because Willowbrook is right there, we approved it, and the biggest thing in our meeting when we did approve this was going to be the downward gradient. It's a great, Jessica, is that not a very steep downward grade to Lockbrook?
It is very steep.
She used a,
No, and you
Very.
had said the exact
He's
same
the
words.
nod.
So instead of spending $100 to buy a new roll of silt fence, he's gonna spend $100. And
if you feel,
Another
if we
$100.
want to do a fine with it, what I'm saying, in this instant, yeah, I am okay with that. Because if it was brought to his attention yesterday, it should have been done today. We have big rains coming. Done. Okay.
yeah, so you want to make a motion to issue a fine for, is it 110?
Is it, well, 108 and 110.
110?
There were 2, one house has already been sold, so those areas should definitely be 100% stabilized and
Well,
taken care of.
it was done in the winter time, Jim, that would have been under winter construction.
So we only have a minute, and I'd like to
You
keep it
don't have to
on.
make a motion. I can.
Yeah,
just-
Okay.
that's
I
a
can just issue it and,
business as usual, pretty much,
Yeah.
It
right?
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was
as
brought
long
up,
as I know what
do you
you
have
guys
anything
want.
else?
That we've,
Any other?
yeah, we have requested from the Board of Health, with the Board of Health, that to meet with the select board for an executive session regarding 61 Monroe Road. That's pending. And then also there's a request for approval to remove 9 trees on the steep bank of Vinton Pond at 22 Sonora Road.
So it's 7:15.
No,
I know we should discuss it, or at least,
We can cover it later.
so we're gonna have Autumn finish her page report.
After the seniors. I
We
mean,
have
after this,
We'll finish it before the work session.
okay.
Or we'll add it to the work session, so that's really.
She's with Mass DOT?
Yep.
Nice. Hello.
All right, so it's 7:15, Tracy, I'll butcher your last name if I try, but we're gonna discuss 119 under road culvert replacement or repair,
Coppola?
Mass DOT. Tracy's joining us, thank you.
Tracy Coppola.
I finally got my volume. I was panicking. I couldn't get I couldn't get any sound. But hi, I'm Tracy Capilati with Mass DOT, District 3. I'm the environmental engineer for the district, and we're here before you tonight. This all started back in, I believe, November, when we had a partial culvert collapse on Route 119. And I was unaware of the repairs that our maintenance section went out and started. So this kind of spiraled into a thing of not, the left hand not knowing what the right hand's doing. So repairs were made. Our dive team had gone out. We did have some comments, like review and comments of the photos from our hydrogeomorphologist. And we were in talks with Jessica at that point about needing to file an NOI after the fact. And since that time, it has taken us quite a while to get our funding sources straightened out, because we're coming toward the end of the year and budget carryover and such. So we finally have gotten to a point where we were able to contract with BSC Group. And I've got, pardon me, we have Wayne Kiefner and Diana Walden here tonight from BSC Group, and they have put together a short presentation that we'll go over. And our intent is to have them start on a notice of intent filing for the work that was previously done for those repairs due to the split clappers and that partial collapse. And they are also going to gather information, while they're out there, gather additional information to work towards the full NOI, which will be for I shouldn't say a full NOI, sorry. The project we're going to be working on is the full culvert replacement, because it's a very old culvert. It's a stone culvert, and things have been happening. And now Jessica just informed me, I think it was last week, that we're having an issue now on the eastbound side. So probably a good thing to get this going and get the whole thing replaced. So I will turn it over now to Wayne and to Diana, and so we can get going on this.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
A little rough.
A little
Say that one
faint,
more time. Okay.
a little
If
faint.
I can share my screen, just a very brief, it's really just photos to look through.
Still having a tough time hearing you.
Give me 1 sec.
Currently, in the meantime, can you give Wayne screen sharing permissions, please?
Done.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. And give me 1 second. Check my line here. Still have problems hearing me?
Yep.
Even if I yell, how about that? Can you hear me any better?
It's okay.
I think a little better.
Speak
A little
up.
bit? I'm going to try to talk right into this microphone. How about that? Okay, so let me share this screen. So can you all see this?
Yes.
Perfect. So just going to quickly walk through this. So very brief agenda. We have some photos from November. I'm sorry, that year is wrong. That's both of these years wrong, actually. These are October and November of 2023. Then have
No, but
a little resource map, and then our next steps. So these are just some photos of the collapsed head wall itself. Okay, I'll go. This is the photo of the collapsed embankment. You can see the guardrails fully visible now. This is one of the clappers that Tracy had mentioned. The clappers are basically big granite slabs that form the top of the culvert. Okay, so this is, as Tracy mentioned, it's a very old culvert, just made of granite slabs and granite block sides. This is what, after the collapse, this was the only opening on the inlet side of the culvert. Okay, these are then from November, after the temporary repair was done. This is me just standing behind the guardrail, taking a photo. This is the inlet side. I'll just flip through these. These are the temporary repairs. And what was done was, and you'll see it in this next photo, is the steel plate was put above the clappers, and then big block put above that steel plate, and then stone put above that. So that was a temporary fix. You can see in this one, that split clapper it's even settled a little more than was in the photos just a month earlier. You can see if you look through the water, I guess into the water, you can see part of the existing head wall that had collapsed is in the screen. And then this is just a view from the south side. And then again, just a little closer view. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Diana now.
Hi, this is Diana Walden from BSC Group. We just put together a quick Mass Mapper, Mass GIS resource map for you. I'm sure you know there's quite a few items out there, different environmental constraints and resources, in addition to the stream and the wetlands. So part of the next steps that we'll discuss are to actually go out there and delineate, to identify, limits of the bordering vegetated wetlands and the ordinary high water mark or mean annual high water mark of the stream. In addition, we are in an ACEC. That's the kind of like transparent blue shading that follows the river corridor north and then encompasses the full area to the south of 119. We're within a quarter mile of the Squannacook River, so likely wild and scenic river coordination with National Park Service for once we get to the full replacement. The kind of checkered parcels are the Article 97 permanently protected properties, and the yellow hatch, diagonal hatching, is the natural heritage endangered species and priority habitat. So we have a number of things going on out there. I believe that if you check potential fish habitat, it's also marked for potentially having salmon. So there's a lot of coordination that would need to happen for the full permitting. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else to mention before we flip slides, but I think, Wayne, you can go to the next slide, please.
Now that bringing those back in.
Just to show the FEMA flood zone and national flood hazard mapping, the stream is actually not included in FEMA mapping, but it's obviously a tributary to the Squannacook. So so those are just the kind of a general picture of what's out there. And I guess next slide, please, Wayne. So as we mentioned, we'll delineate the resource areas to be able to depict those in the notice of intent that we file for the after the fact work, field survey at the time, and that will all lead us into the actual full replacement of the culvert And beyond the notice of intent for the temporary work, we're seeing the culvert replacement as a bridge exempt project. So when Mass DOT replaces culverts, bridges, they have language in the bond bill that actually exempts them from certain Massachusetts related permitting programs. So once the repair notice of intent is reviewed and finalized, when we finally do the full replacement, it would actually be a permit to the Army Corps of Engineers under the Section 404 program, and also a 401 water quality certification application. And so the Concom would get copied on those applications, but the notice of intent for a full replacement is actually it's exempt from that review. But for the repairs, that's what we would definitely come in for the after the fact notice of intent.
I'll make a quick comment to that effect. We have a local towns and wetlands bylaw. So I think even if they're exempt from WPA, I believe it would be applicable still as a town project. So we can connect offline about that to discuss more if you want, but I'm not certain that this would be exempt from a town project.
I do know Mass DOT tends to identify the that following local bylaws can inhibit its state. There's a saying, there's a statement that they always use for it reduces their capacity to perform its function for the Commonwealth. So they tend to actually interpret an exemption from local bylaws as well. But definitely something we can discuss, and maybe Tracy has more feedback on that as well. But
Sorry.
What about the repairs that are on the docket for the eastbound side?
That maintenance had gone out there and looked at that, I believe it was last week, and Jessica, you stopped by as well as the DPW director.
James is there too, the guy in the orange shirt.
Oh, James, sorry, yes. And so our maintenance I'm sorry?
We have a lot of gyms.
Okay.
In James, so
our maintenance section is currently working on a scope of work for that. And once they have that ready, along with a schedule of when they'd be getting a crew out there, Jessica, we spoke about the ability to issue an emergency work order so that we can get out there and do those repairs to hopefully tie us over till the full replacement is completed or underway.
does anyone have?
So if this goes under a culvert replacement, it doesn't go under per se a bridge job.
No, it's a culvert.
Right,
No,
it's
it's considered a bridge, but I guess what's your?
what they're saying is it's a culvert replacement. It's not a bridge job. So there's
No,
gonna be different verbiage in
Jessica,
it
isn't that
because of,
considered a bridge? That's what I recall.
It is
I
considered a
think
bridge?
it's considered a bridge. I think it's bottomless, but
it's usually I want to say the width of the cross, or like the length of the crossing over the stream, tends to be a culvert versus a bridge, but they have interpreted that even if it was a culvert, that the culvert and bridge type replacements are all like a bond bill reference. So they have been interpreting culvert replacements to be the same exemption. But yeah, I think it's something to do with the length of the crossing over the stream.
It definitely has to do with the length, because another project that we're working on, we have Complete Streets is trying to, they're pushing for a shared use path, and that will push us outside of the culvert and put us into a bridge. So there is definitely a length component to that. But I think Jessica, mentioned that we could always have a short Teams meeting and maybe, discuss a little further on the, how the local regulations and the bridge exemption and, exactly what we need to be covering and to satisfy all the requirements.
I understand. I just wanted it to be defined whether it's culvert replacement or a bridge replacement.
I just. wanna know
Defining
when
it,
the
if
rest of
it's a bridge, there'll be different language to it. If it's just a culvert replacement, there'll be different language.
In the last 6 months,
They'll
we've had
figure it out.
an inlet failure and an outlet, and now an outlet side failure.
Correct,
This is
so
a problem and there should be, you
it
know,
needs to be expedited. It's a safety situation and it's a water backup situation, multiple. So time is of the essence, I'd say.
I mean, I think we
You guys,
could,
driving by, you've definitely noticed an increase in water at the property of 61 Edward. Like it is always
Yeah.
under 2 or 3 feet of water now. It used to always drain. So you can, if this is needed. So, you know, we should do, as a town, we should do what we can to move it forward, but still following regulatory requirements.
well, that's not even why yes, as a town, I would hope that we're all gonna, you know, not cause, or make this hard, but, in terms of what happens if there's a catastrophic failure.
Both aspects, water backing up and it's a travel area, safety and water.
So if you
Oh,
have
absolutely.
another block, you see how that top block, what are they calling that?
The clapper.
yeah,
Clapper. It's already settled down.
And
And you can see it.
there's a
and you-
sinkhole developing
Yeah,
to
and you got-
the
and you-
westbound side.
Yeah, and you got some activity going on there now.
Oh,
You got some multiple failures
There's
going
a low,
on,
you can
or the
feel.
potential for it, you know?
gotcha.
Send a couple of Cat D8s up over there on low beds and, you know, something could happen, you never know. You know, there's a lot of heavy
Right.
heavy traffic
How many
going down
permanent
that
loads are
road
going over that?
Yeah. every day, you know, you got a lot of heavy loading going down that road every day.
So once again, we're back to the fact, safety with the automobiles above, water backup with the water below. So it's got two aspects of it, which demonstrates to me.
It may be an
We
emergency.
should move on it. Yeah,
It may
move
be
on
an
it quickly.
emergency, turn into an emergency situation,
Sure.
if, you know, with a little bad luck, like, everybody's.
Right. So what
Yeah.
happens, what happens when that, or if that happens?
Well, it
we've
becomes an
had
emergency.
How many
per
100-year
DOT
rains
though.
this year?
Yeah, but under that circumstance, if I'm, Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, that becomes an emergency
Yeah.
repair.
yeah, and that's, you know, that was kind of part of the first repair. You know, Mass DOT, our first concern is safety for the traveling public. So, you know, they were addressing that. And, you know, with the numerous extensive rain events we had last year, you know, we had the Mass Pike shut down in certain lanes, you know, it was that crazy. So, you know, they had a lot on their mind, a lot on their plates, and it just didn't even occur to, you know, touch base. And so that's how we ended up where we are. But yeah, I mean,
Do you have a timeline on when you can see that retroactive notice of intent?
Diana could probably answer that better than I can, Diana or Wayne.
We gotta wrap this up. We have a 7:35 and I try to stay on schedule.
I'd say we're probably a month or so away. Right? Diana has to go flag it, and then we have to get our crews out there, topo it, they have to draw it up, then Diana will have to do the rest of the paperwork part of that.
Okay.
I will note real quick before we wrap up, the on the northern inlet side, that slope is already falling down again. Like the guardrail posts are already back out, just floating in midair. So, I mean, that work was done 4 months ago and it's
Oh,
already
wow.
failing again. So, yay.
So
Well, if the whole thing collapses, then we'll be in a totally different,
Yeah, then it'd be
There's
an
a poor
emergency,
beaver
just
on the
come in and
side of
get
the
it
road
done.
right now.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's that, but it's what's the property damage that's going to,
from the water backup, that's my concern also, but more than
So it
that,
goes right up across the Spalding, don't it? That backs right up into that forward.
so
up in there.
I've seen the water high in there. We all have, you guys more than me, but Just this year, it's been high.
And plus we have that other aspect of that individual over there with that, whatever.
Which they've already fished out a canoe.
All right, so anyway, looking at it and understanding some of the dynamics of it, with that water now building up above where the culvert is, if that finds a way through, and if the water's really built up quite a bit of inventory behind it, you can expect that to go in a real bad way. Because with the hydrology of it, the water's
Yeah, it's all
raising
all
and it's
big
building
rock,
up and it's
gravel,
building.
It's gonna
And
start washing
when
through
it
the rocks.
does go and there's a volume of water behind there,
Well, that's right.
it's gonna go quick and it's not gonna be good. So what's the problem with what we're doing?
Yeah, so-
Move on this.
When it blows out across the road gets closed, they
No, I
gotta
know.
deal with the running spot.
They know it's an issue,
Yeah.
so we're gonna keep going.
So they've got it, and what more can we do? Nothing.
Thank you, Tracy, for explaining
Yep.
everything to us, and we'll
Thank you,
look for
thank you,
that
folks.
notice of intent in about 4 weeks.
All right, thank you very
you.
much for
Take care.
hearing us tonight.
Thank you.
Bye.
So, all right, 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Second meeting in April, we'll call it.
Yeah, okay.
No, yeah. Right, or first.
I just have a funny feeling we got some big rain events. I don't think it's gonna be a surprise that this expedites itself. Anyway, moving on to bigger and better things.
2.2 is 7:37, we're not doing bad. Notice of intent, TWB 2024-166, DEP 3080706. Chris McKenzie's joining us to discuss everything.
Good evening again. I'm hoping maybe somebody can put our plan up on the screen up here. I don't have a hard
Oh,
copy.
you didn't bring it? Oh, okay. I printed out a small
Can you
copy.
pull it out?
We don't have a large copy yet.
Can
But
you
I-
pull it up so we can,
Yeah, I can.
They're in the mail somewhere.
Hartley, can Autumn have screen sharing now, please?
How are you, sir?
Okay, I thought I already gave her the screen sharing capabilities, but let me double check.
You might have, sorry.
I think he gave it to Jessica. So.
Oh, it's Jessica,
We
okay.
get mixed up all the time. So.
No, Autumn, you do have the screen sharing capabilities, so
Awesome. All right.
luck.
Thanks
Ta-da.
for you're on it. Okay, not this. Here we go. We'll make it smaller. It's going to be really hard to read the text then, but
You should be able to zoom in if it's,
okay, yeah,
There
I
you
can.
go. That's funny.
might take a second to load, but.
Okay. So Chris, you want to kind of describe the changes from the first plan?
Sure.
And then also the comments DEP
Yeah.
issued.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to start off with Jessica and her eagle eye, or Autumn spotted this line coming through here. And I don't know where it came from or
Arms Eagle Eye.
what it is. No label on it, and it was on,
It
it doesn't make
connects?
sense for anything. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's just some kind of line work that ended up on the drawing, and it
Okay.
doesn't belong there because it doesn't represent anything. It wasn't on the original drawings. AutoCAD plays tricks on you sometimes, and maybe something got copied or offset or something happened, or
It's not a
I don't
grade-
know. I don't know where it came
It's not
from. I
a
have
grade
no
line?
explanation
It's not a
for it.
grade
It's-
line off the back of that basin right there?
No, your grade line's right here. That's an existing 272.
Yeah,
This line here is the erosion control barrier, which is
Oh, okay,
in the
yeah.
back. There's a
Right.
contour there. There's, the only post contour is really right here.
Mhm.
There's, and it doesn't make any sense that it would come run right
No.
alongside the catch basin. So I honestly, I don't know
It
where.
cuts
it
right
came
back
from.
to the wall.
Yeah, back over the
That
wall.
loop you
What is
do.
it, Jimmy, you have?
So I assume we're discussing whether or not this line's gonna be deleted because we have no understanding, knowledge of where.
Yeah, I've
what's
erased
going
it off my AutoCAD drawing already.
Moving forward.
As soon as I saw it, I'm looking, going,
Okay.
I don't know where this came from or what it is.
Okay, so it doesn't demonstrate boundary. It doesn't demonstrate anything other than we don't know.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
away, we don't
I
know,
mean,
so
it's
we
not,
don't
it's
worry.
not, it's not any even distance off of the wetlands or the brook or anything anywhere, so I don't know what it is.
Make it go away.
Okay,
Maybe it was some it may have originally been an erosion control line and somehow got through or something, I don't know, but the erosion control is right up against the wall now.
It's an anomaly. It
Yeah,
could go away.
We had to make sure, room to get equipment and materials and stuff around the back of the building and stuff. So there were a number of things that were discussed. One of the items that's been shown is I added an erosion control note to the catch basin here with a silk sack detail that's needed for dewatering, as was discussed at the last meeting. I also properly labeled the existing addition part of the building there to be removed and replaced with the existing condition, and I think I put a note somewhere else about about it being a slab on grade, no basement. The sump pump will be removed and plugged at the wall, as we discussed.
So that was a contingency there for a bit,
Yeah.
whether it was a slab or a basement, whether or not the pump is gonna keep pushing water.
Right, and really, I didn't know the answer at the time, but I thought it was slab on grade, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
I also have, if you really look carefully at the plan, you'd see that the existing topography has changed a little bit. What we found was we had used LiDAR contours on our original plan. And so when the question came up about, from DEP, about getting a flood elevation, I said, all right, well, we're gonna go out there now and make sure that all of our elevations are good. When we did, we redid the topo, changed some of the existing contours a little bit. Not anything major, but it just, so if you notice a difference, you probably would have to overlay them through a
so it's
light table or something.
minor adjustments in that regard.
Right. And so, and as a result of that, we show this line here, and it's labeled a little further down. It comes up, goes over, and goes up, and then comes back down on the other side. That is the 100-year flood based on elevation of 272 elevation.
And didn't they just change all the 100-year flood with,
I don't know if it's finalized,
okay, never mind. Don't,
but
The only
Go.
maps I could find, they actually, the detailed study ends right on the side of the road here.
okay, just
It doesn't
before,
go up this, it doesn't go on that side of the road, it ends right there.
just the toe of 119.
Yeah.
Very good.
And then, so it follows the 272 contour and up and around. So that fits in there fairly well. Again, we're only a few feet off of it, as mentioned. With the requirement, I think they want 100 feet or something like that, so we're not, 100 feet's on somebody else's property here. That covers most of it. There was one other thing that DEP had mentioned, about the stormwater stuff. We attached a letter, we had the engineering department look at that, do some calculations. They came up with somewhere around a 0.03 CFS, I think is the right word, difference in a 100-year storm for the additional,
the displacement.
there you go, 242 square
So
feet.
stormwater is
So
triggered
flow
because
requirement, Chris?
it's any increase in impervious service at a commercial lot, a commercial property. That's why stormwater was triggered
Right.
at this site.
So it's-
Because of the the
Because of-
pervious or impervious
The
applications
increase, any
Because of
increase
the
in
addition.
impervious, yep. So the addition,
of a matter of what, under 800 square feet,
242.
242 square feet?
242 square feet, and I think there's some calcs down here that show, you're paying down a little
Yep.
bit.
and then,
So that's what brought that up.
So
yeah,
this is pre-development and post-development, so a 2-year storm, it's 200, and we come all the way down here at a 100-year storm, it's 400
okay, so you're not providing,
cubic feet per second.
no, you haven't provided a stormwater checklist, is that correct?
Right, because once you do that, I don't, this is stuff that's out of my wheelhouse, so I don't know everything when it comes to this stuff.
Okay,
But my understanding is once you do that, now you're going to start to have to do mitigation.
Yeah,
Chris, what throws it
Like
off?
we did over
Right.
at the church.
but
We did something over
so
at the church.
stormwater was triggered, so you would have to do that regardless because you have an increase in.
All right, and that's what the letter is responding to, is that
Okay.
it's such a negligible.
Yeah, 242 square feet.
With basically no area of which to do it with. Again, this is out of my wheelhouse, but to
Yeah.
me, put some stone trenches around the
I was just
building
gonna
that
say-
catch the drip off the roof.
I was just
or
gonna
something.
say, can they
I think
recharge
so.
it? I was just gonna
I don't know
bring
that meets any kind of regulations,
Do to the minimum
There are
amount.
Well,
possibilities for that
Why
lot.
not? Because nothing else you can do, Chris. Put a recharge trench right across the back for the drip edge. I don't know what else you can do.
Right.
There's nothing, it's so
Well,
confined,
The
it's no
impervious
size of,
surface
Is
that,
the water
Right.
table
Hold on,
below
there's-
2 feet? I think that's where it triggers it, right? It's gotta be 2 feet above.
Oh, above groundwater?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just about what you are right there.
right.
barely,
Why would
barely.
something like
I
that
mean,
work?
it's
I
probably
think throw that
right
in there.
on the cusp of that, 2 feet.
has there been any action, any ideas or things talked about to try and include a storm, like the stormwater?
Like I said, this is out of my wheelhouse. I talked to the engineers and they're like, there's nothing we can do here.
There's nothing.
There's nothing, there's no.
No,
area.
you got high groundwater.
It's kind of an
Assuming we have
Existing-
high
Some
groundwater.
land area.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what we
Yeah.
had to do over at the
Right.
church. It takes
Yeah.
up a large area and there's
Well,
nothing.
I noticed that you had this,
Does take up
the
a large area.
dewatering entering into the 119.
Storm drain,
That
just
was-
across the
That
street.
was the discussion at the last meeting.
It wasn't blessed.
That
It was
wasn't
discussed.
blessed, it was
Right,
discussed,
it was-
and, I'm
Well,
not
we-
sure that's kosher with,
No, the, DOT requires a permit, but,
yeah.
hey.
Just so you know,
on
that's
the-
not in our, our
Yeah,
wheelhouse,
it's-
but it could be if that storm drain backs up and empties into that
Oh,
creek right there, but.
that storm drain's so full of crap.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
No,
don't
but
think-
adding stormwater to a stormwater system
I-
isn't made for additional.
I just
True.
can't see
No,
that. I
I
know
don't
it's like,
expect that to be any
we can all,
long-term.
we can all sit here and scratch our heads on them and
Yeah,
And I think at the end of the day, really nothing that can be done there short of, a stone trench or something like that.
yeah,
You got an
Yeah.
existing 100-and-something-year-old building. They're adding a tiny little addition to the back of the thing. They're changing it minuscule. I don't know.
I think James wants to say something.
Come on, James.
There are 3 different conversations going on, I believe.
Sorry, James.
We should go around and say.
So in regards to the dewatering, the DOT permit is required. That's on the owner or engineer to obtain or to just figure it out on their own. It's not obviously going into a wetland. That's all we care about. In terms of the stormwater stuff, you're right. There's
Well,
nowhere to
really?
work, even recharge trench, you gotta be above that
It-
groundwater.
well, how low, how?
Well, if you're
high
2
is
feet
it?
above it, I think that's what the rule is.
Yeah, we're right next to the wetland, and we're not.
2 feet above it, it is what it is.
Whatever the
I just
elevation.
don't, I don't think there's anything that can be, I don't think there's, I almost think it's a moot point.
The stormwater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
well,
just a
that's
moot
why
point.
their letter,
That's basically what we're saying.
so, and
We can
it's
spend
not
all
in our
kinds of money and
jurisdiction
do all kinds of
either.
engineering, but we're not gonna come up with anything
You got a site that's just,
that's gonna meet any kind of regulation, so
yeah, I feel like we need to move on from this, I really do.
No, well, the stormwater is even us.
No, I know, but.
We also don't have a signed application that's signed by someone in the town as the owner. It was signed incorrectly by Eric as the applicant, but we don't have, it's not correct.
I've sent it back to him twice, asking to have it.
Have you?
As long as
Okay.
he hasn't-
Well, until
Who
we
hasn't replied, Eric?
need that to move forward.
And we're
I'll make a
on.
note, on that signature page, you need both a THS representative as the applicant and the property owner, someone from the town.
Thanks, Jessica.
You can't wait.
Yes,
Representing THS, Townsend Historical Society has no ownership to this property. Anytime that I signed it, I was signing as a representative from the Fire Station Association.
Right, he signed as applicant on the original one.
So is THS no longer
As the
the applicant?
representative.
As applicant,
As the applicant.
THS is not an owner of this property.
but not the owner.
Not the
signature.
owner, but the applicant.
I'm kind of disappointed that this is,
Jessica, we are not that, or Autumn, we are not the applicant as well. This is.
Okay, well, that needs to be updated.
Volunteer.
Not the time for this to come up.
The current NOI is THC.
Oh, yeah.
but I understand where Chris is coming from. He's emailed
Right.
twice to request it.
Right.
I know Eric's been out, but like, now we have this, like, I don't want to keep kicking it.
No, let's keep kicking the can down the road. Let's try to.
Yeah, but we don't have a signed application.
We can't move forward with it tonight, Chris.
Because
No,
You wanna-
we will.
we have to get the paper cleared. We've got to have some good
It
paper.
has to get signed.
It has to be
Somebody
good
gotta
paper
sign it.
right now, and it's not. Simple as that.
I mean, I'd love to do this, sign it.
May I ask you a question?
Help you, but I
Can I
can't.
comment on that?
Yes.
I've been doing notice of intent for 30 years. For 29 years, I've been signing them as agent, and all of a sudden in the last year, I can't seem to do that anymore.
They're getting
Not
kicked
just
back.
here.
Oh, everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
They're kicking them back.
Yeah, they are. The state's getting them back the minute I'm signing my deal.
It has happened to us, and that's why they have to.
Has there been
I've worked for 29 years as applicant, as agent for the owners and stuff.
Has there been a change in
And all of a sudden
language with the
last year-
state on procedure?
Jessica, no, Jessica.
Okay, so.
Mr. Chairman?
Has there been?
Yes,
I believe that Eric signed on behalf of the town for ownership. And I signed as an applicant for the volunteer fire department group, association group that is maybe building.
What's the matter?
So
Jock,
Eric's.
unfortunately, Eric signed it in the applicant line and not the owner line. You're
Oh,
supposed to
Jesus.
sign on the owner line, but he signed on the applicant line.
So
can't do anything about it.
we're looking at a clerical holdup with this?
Now we are.
Well, yeah.
Okay, but now I'm confused though, because
Jessica,
I'm
yes?
confused because the notice of, the notice of intent says the applicant is Townsend Historical Society and the property owner is the town of Townsend. But now that isn't right. I work for the town and I have no idea what's going on. So we need some clarity.
I had brought this up earlier to correct. It really is a clerical error.
On Eric's behalf, he should have signed it on the other line.
Is THC still the applicant?
The Townsend Historical Society, Jock, you signed it as the applicant for the Historical Society, correct?
No, I signed it as the applicant representing the fire association that owns the building.
Is that correct?
And that's not correct, Jock?
That is many months ago, I was asked to represent them for these types of things, to be able to sign.
Okay.
For the Historical Society.
No.
For the fire.
No, for the fire.
Okay, well, we have the
Jock, are
applicant,
you with the Historical
What do you
Society
have
or
the
the fire
applicant as?
the
department?
Historical Society.
Well, then he's the representative of the Historical Society.
No, but it's not. It's the fire association, correct?
I have
Oh,
those
Chris is
maps.
driving.
Every first time I've heard the word
Hold on,
fire
hold-
association.
hold-
So I don't
hold
know
on.
So
anything
John
about
is the
that.
representative of the fire
Mine,
association.
Jock.
Hold on. Too many conversations. Let's back into this. Who is the owner of the property?
The owner is the town of Townsend,
Town of
correct?
Townsend. We know this.
Did Eric Sligo sign for the owner, or as the owner for the town?
He was supposed to, but he accidentally signed on the line that says applicant.
We're done.
Bingo.
Unfortunately,
Bingo.
Right, Chris.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
No,
Bingo.
I'm not, we don't need to go in circles. I'm
It's,
sorry.
there was an
I have other stuff to do.
incorrect signing and it's got to get re-signed correctly.
But as soon as it gets signed, I
We can
don't know
move
how the
forward.
rest of the commission
Can-
feels,
can
but
we
we can
approve it?
hold the, no, because it doesn't have the right signature.
No,
This is
can
silly.
we,
Guys, it's not
Okay.
just the signature. It's not even the right applicant. If you approve an order of conditions,
We can't.
we
You
need to
decided
issue
to.
it, excuse me, we need to issue it to the listed applicant on the application. So If all this was good, tonight you would
I was
issue an order of
actually-
conditions to Townsend
I could
Historical
approve
Society.
based on them making the
So
changes.
that,
Good.
all
The
this
changes,
information needs
you
to
got
get
two- you
settled
got two
out.
problems.
So,
You got two problems.
Jimmy.
That's,
Who is this application for? The Townsend Historical Society, yes or no?
No,
you know,
Who is the application for?
I believe it is the Fire Association.
okay, we're, Jimmy, the owner,
All right, motion to continue.
God.
So TFA,
Sorry, Brett.
THS,
Oh,
Come
you know,
on.
you know what also is something to
signed on
consider
wrong
is
line.
to deny this application as it's not accurate. And whoever wants to apply, be it the fire association, can apply and submit an NOI.
Oh, no, let's not do that. Let's just try to get the right ducks. in.
I need to find out who the applicant is. We were hired by the Townsend Historical Society for the church and the fire station. I was told that's who we were doing it for.
Okay.
Like I said, Fire Association is the first time I've heard that
Okay.
term was tonight. So I don't even know who that is. I will have to find out, and
No,
if that's who the applicant is,
Let's
we're
not kick the
obviously
whole
gonna
thing
have
out,
to
though.
change the whole
we
application.
have to.
We have to kick everything out, start all over again?
Everything.
No, not at.
The entire project is done under Townsend Historical Society,
So,
because that.
We just need to get the application
And what are we dealing?
properly signed.
I don't know, I understand, what Chris is saying is,
We can continue it until we better understand the situation.
can you amend this to make it?
I gotta find the minutes of what, yeah, I can.
So I'm asking, whatever the detail part is, above and beyond that, can you amend this so that it can be I don't wanna say resubmitted, but,
No, so we're gonna come back before us next
well, no,
meeting.
statewide, state side.
Right,
Because the
yeah,
state-
that's right.
This was submitted under historic.
Right,
I don't even wanna, I'm just disappointed and not, like, you're trying, there's a lot of moving parts, there's not a lot of communication, all of us here wanna approve this tonight, and now we just can't.
There's no way you can
Legally,
approve
we
it.
can't.
There's no way it can be approved.
So,
Let's not spin our wheels.
that's, I motion to continue it to our meeting.
Are we tabling it or are we gonna motion to continue?
let's try to continue it.
Motion to continue it,
All right,
I don't,
Mr. Chairman?
yes,
spinning our wheels. Jock,
yes, John.
Yeah, I'm sorry to have thrown a wrench in this. I thought that it was brought up a while ago, but that's besides the point. This is there's some things that have to be fixed on the who's who and what's what. I would hope that this is not going to suddenly stop this project entirely. I understand that you can't approve it until that gets corrected, but isn't that simply just submitting the correct title page?
Well, we'll continue it.
Finish chewing.
yeah,
Autumn was so gracious enough to bring us cupcakes.
we have more than just that. We have a signature problem. We don't know if it's the fire association
but overall,
or the
the plan-
historical. It's
plan
acceptable,
is
everything is good there,
It's,
but the paper is not holding. It can't stand. The signature's wrong, and we don't know really if it's through the fire or historical. These things need to be definitively
yeah.
corrected, done.
But that's the only reason.
Mhm.
So
Correct.
I motion to continue this to our next meeting, March 27th, 2024.
Second,
So moved.
Sorry, Chris.
We're gonna go back, it's gonna be the 22nd of this month,
27th.
27th.
So Kevin, second, roll call vote, please.
What?
Roll call vote.
James Duran, yes.
James Gates, yes.
27th.
Pat Jonah, yes.
Do you have anything you wanna add?
So we understand what that's gonna, we're gonna have to have that signature correct, we're gonna have to define if this is through the historical society. And like you said, this is the first time you've heard anything with fire department,
Well,
which we do understand it is involved with that. So let's correct
So
these
we have
things.
one,
Get it.
we have time for a quick question from the public. Please identify yourself as usual and address and.
My name is Jared McCaffrey. I'm here for Gloria McCaffrey, one of the others. I realize you're continuing it, but I have, communication from, Gloria's attorney. Would you prefer I wait until next meeting?
I would actually, I will make a request that the attorney attend the next meeting.
Okay, I can pass that.
I think moving forward, you can give us what you have, we can submit it, you know, to the TA, and we'll keep it in our record. Give us a second to look over it.
He's in Connecticut, so that's all.
He can zoom in if he needs to,
Yes.
but I would recommend, because
No, I appreciate it. I've been asked to get it into the record and.
so the former gas station, I'll say accusation, but in question, there's nothing leading us there. I'm not discussing that any further. It keeps getting dragged into here, and there's nothing to even discuss with that because there's no evidence of it.
Tanks were not used
Change of use,
underground.
that's not us. This.
Number two is health and safety, and it's.
Yeah, no, but neighboring wetlands will negatively impact. It's been found by the state that it doesn't. Floodplain extends onto a portion of subject property. Data does not. Well, it's been addressed, but it's in the site to small parking. That's not us.
Yeah, parking is.
So if there's continued, it's the same. We've had this is the third time that these issues have been brought up to us. I feel that because we can't comment on something that is in our jurisdiction, and because we can't comment, I feel like it just keeps coming up in different formats. Again, this is a different format, literally, but the same question.
Same thing.
From the last time.
The
floodplain, obviously.
Kevin, I don't even think we need to go further. We've talked about it. It's publicly recorded. It's in our minutes.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. We're good.
Well, no, Jimmy, please. I know. Yes. Go ahead.
No, and I appreciate you as well. I recognize what you're saying. I'm passing on things from.
I know, and you're just a messenger.
But the document from 1935 that the police station, the fuel filling station, and just that came directly from there. Just
again, there's nothing apparent on the site. There's no evidence, physical, visual.
I understand that, and you guys can go.
That's fine.
Anything you need. It's my job to pass on the information that I have from the attorney.
We appreciate your time. If there's any other, I highly recommend your attorney join us in person or via Zoom, but he should. Yeah. I'm sorry. I wish I could discuss it further, but we're just.
That's okay. I just want to have it in the record. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jimmy, are you okay?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Thank you.
Chris?
Bye, Chris.
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Enjoy your night.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris. Bye, Chris. This is good. This is great. Here we go.
Going forward, 3.1, Old Meeting House Trail Marker Purchase.
What do you got on?
I have some.
When you say trail marker purchase,
Yeah, so I had a volunteer come
Okay,
forward that wanted to.
But Ron.
Oh, okay, Ron Steers. So came forward and he wanted some trail markers to sign the hiking trails
oh, I see.
that are out on Old Meeting House Road. I found that we didn't have any,
Thank you.
and I'd like to purchase some for that area to better sign it, to help hikers, and then also purchase trail markers for the trails that are gonna be installed. They're 2x2s.
What do the markers say? It's just
They, just color, they're just gonna be colored for right now.
So
to indicate.
For the
They're-
hiking trails that are existing, there's
Oh.
yellow and orange hiking trails out there,
hiking or biking?
hiking
Okay.
currently.
So these are international signs?
These are just trail markers. They're used internationally, but
So because that's where she did the sidewalk for the bike,
Yeah, and
Trail.
it's,
and it's separate from the meeting house walking trails.
yes.
no, well, no, it's not.
Some of it is
It's in an area that has some trails, but not a lot.
for bike and walking.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So these are just signs that we can, in the past, the trails have been marked. But there are trails that have been beaten down and,
yeah,
that
So we're
We
looking
want
for
mark.
some money through
our budget.
Our budget,
WPA.
yeah. Not
our budget, we have
WPA.
We have a budget now. We got
No, we
money
don't
in it.
have- No.
Well,
We have a
can
little bit, we have a
say-
little bit.
Yeah,
Well, we can say we're gonna take the money from our budget that we don't have.
We have a little budget. We have a $1,700 budget
All right.
that,
Is she gonna eat the whole 1,700?
mm-mm.
Okay.
No, the trail markers will be about 116, but,
but they come in packs of 100,
yeah.
so they can be used
So
on
you're
other
gonna get,
conservation properties.
so you're gonna get
Yeah.
one package?
I'm gonna get one pack of yellow and yeah, I think that I'm gonna do
That's it?
that, and then
What about the biking ones?
the biking ones, we're not gonna mark, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. It's not set in stone, because I think town council is just working on the agreement for the bike park and the
Okay.
volunteers currently. So
So we're
Then
just
we'll
looking
circle
for
back.
We'll circle back.
$232.
I think that's a great idea. We can get.
Yeah.
What was-
Is that much, we're looking for $232. It's holy water.
Well, let's get a
Let's go.
So we need a,
motion.
I
is
motion
there
that
anything else
we,
associated with this trail marker?
How about nails? Do we need to donate the nails?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
get
need
aluminum
nails.
nails.
We need
What's the
cost
aluminum
of
nails.
Galvanized roofing nails?
there's always saving
Galvanized
costs,
roofing
yeah.
nails, okay.
No, I think aluminum.
Oh, aluminum?
She knows, she's done this, but did you get a
Yeah.
cost for the
No,
nails?
I didn't. You guys know.
No, we don't, because I don't.
A box of aluminum,
I'll make a
100,
I'll make a
I mean,
donation.
right, 18,
What?
yeah.
50?
I think I
I'll
got,
Also
rush
round it-
around town for a
round it up
donation
to
from
the-
the roofers.
Round it
Right.
up to the nearest 100.
Let's do 300.
Okay, there you go. You gonna make that motion, Jimmy?
no, you can get this one item, but I mean,
I'll make a
some
motion to
nails
approve-
and-
I'll
and
make a
the
motion
stickers.
to approve
all
the,
right,
Trail
the
markers.
purchase of some trail markers and the amount of $300 to be used over in the
No,
meeting house.
they're gonna be used.
Oh, yeah, throughout,
Well,
use as
whatever.
needed throughout.
not just
town.
meeting house, yeah, awesome.
And
We have a-
installed by the Conservation Commission representative.
So we'll have a little inventory.
So do we have a second?
Second, yeah,
Pat, you almost had it. Roll call vote, please.
James Duran, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Okay. Generally, yes. Now I have another, I don't know if I would call it a request, but we have,
Come on, you're pushing us
possible
tonight.
use for
Yeah.
a banner.
No, no possible use. She
Yeah.
wants to buy a
I
banner so
want
she
to buy
can
a
have a
banner so
table
I
at.
can table at the
Earth Day.
Earth Day event.
You
Oh, I
get the
think
first
that's a
shift.
great
You get the
idea.
first shift.
I'll be there all day. I already took off from work at my other job, so I can be there.
I can
We
be
have
there.
some different ideas
Pat,
for
Pat
banners.
said she'd help.
I didn't design these, but this woman at the sign shop did. So this one just says Townsend Conservation Commission. It has a turtle and some,
It's a tortoise.
yeah, tortoise. I asked her if she could use a painted turtle, something from around here that
Might as
we
well
might
use a
see.
blanding turtle.
I know, a blending turtle.
No,
So,
no.
Seriously,
Holy shit.
wait, I
Yeah.
don't want to
Painted
nitpick.
yeah,
But
no, I want you
no,
guys
no,
to
don't
check.
put any, put
Yeah, don't.
something else.
Okay.
Don't,
You
yeah,
don't like turtles?
No, they don't.
This one has a
National
hippo.
Heritage
this one-
doesn't want it really talked about.
Yeah, Yeah, this one has a hippo on it. I
Well,
don't think
or we could
that's-
do a hippo.
I don't think that's
It's
a
an
spinning,
endangered
but
species
I'm gonna
and they
wait
don't
till
want
the-
people to be notified of area locations.
Last or 2 weeks.
That's
Jessica
all, we're
suggested a
good.
river
Even they
scene.
get flooded out.
Are you two
You're
arguing
getting
again?
flooded
Ooh, we're
out.
talking about wings.
Okay.
Are they the same price?
There's two different versions. There's a nicer version, which is an 18 ounce, which is a little bit more expensive. This one is a 16 ounce and it is $195.
How much is the 18 ounce?
She didn't give me that quote yet, because I also requested that she change the
And this is
photos.
what, for a banner?
A banner, yeah.
For Earth Day?
Well, not just,
Well-
moving forward, we can have it at
Locally?
events.
I
know.
do agree
We're
that
good.
we could,
Great, couple more
We
$100,
could-
500 out of the, right?
well, we do have a professional services budget that we could possibly use.
I'm not gonna get nitpicky on what account it comes from in our
But I
budget,
would say that
but we have the budget.
we would probably want to utilize the budget that we have, because it's only
We are.
until July,
Yeah,
right?
and so you can buy your banner.
Okay.
I think you can use it. There's
Okay.
a soccer event coming up in May that
Yeah.
you can have a table at if you want.
I could table at that too, if you guys
Um,
want me to represent you at that event too, sure.
Kids love conservation.
You also had activities, games, supplies.
Yeah, if anyone had any.
So how much is the banner?
It's gonna be $195. We're not taxed, because we're tax exempt,
Okay,
so it's
There you go, we're saving money.
so $300 for this event with the purchase banner.
Yep,
So you can buy activities or as long as it's all used at the event.
Yep.
Candy or whatever.
We need the nails too.
Will they mail that out to you, Autumn? You gotta go drive all the way down.
they'll send it to me, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's fast science. It's a,
So fast in the mail.
If you have any ideas or suggestions for events or activities, games,
okay.
let me know.
Seems like there ought to be something, so.
I was gonna start some sunflowers and bring the sunflower seedlings to the event and give them out as something to give to
So
the
that, and
kids.
that's an item that you purchased with out of the $300.
Yeah,
So we have a motion and a second to approve Autumn's. I'll make the motion. I make a motion to approve Autumn's request to purchase a banner for Earth Day and other events and spend up to $300 total for materials and supplies for events.
Sounds like that.
Second. What'd you
So
say?
Pat second that. Roll call.
James Thorne, yes.
James Gates, yes. Kevin?
Kevin Smith, yes.
That's what I'm You also could think about stickers. Kids love stickers.
they do.
Yep.
And you could put on there, you
Yeah.
know,
Jimmy likes
like
stickers.
I love
conservation,
stickers.
you know.
Yeah.
Because you have the
And
lunchbox.
Yeah, okay.
When I used to
Good
have a
idea, Pat,
lunchbox, I
thanks.
just go to the Townsend house.
3.3, request for OOC extension 27 Scales Lane, TWB 2019-156. Autumn, is there anything that needs to be discussed? Does anyone have any questions regarding that?
Should be on there, but
I'm familiar with it. I went out and looked at it. Straightforward to complete it. But like I had told him he needed to get the extension. I'm getting around as simple as that, so.
yeah, it's just 1 year extension.
Correct.
It's always great to encourage too,
Mhm.
just in case. It doesn't
Yeah.
cost any more.
Yeah.
For the work, for the amount he's got to do, it's not, I don't see it.
Mhm.
Is it up to us to say 1 year or 2 year? Does it matter?
They can request 1, 2, or 3.
I'll chime in real quick. So the remaining work he has is also concurrent with a stormwater permit from the planning board, and they have only extended his permit through June 30th. So 1 or 2 doesn't really matter at the end of the day,
Matter, I was
because
just
he only
gonna
has a
say.
few months.
Right, so, well, there you go. Jessica, did you speak with him in person when you went out there, or were you just,
He came into the office on
okay,
last week, I guess, to submit this extension request, and then just a customary inspection site visit as we would with any permit process. We went out on Monday. So
So he has a
he
list of
understands
what-
what his responsibilities are.
so he knows everything's in the list that he's gotta get done, no questions, no gray zone?
I don't
Okay,
think so.
very, very good. 1 year,
So I
2
guess
years
just
doesn't
for
matter.
Conscom, for your knowledge, there are 3 stormwater basins on site, one of which was supposed to have an outlet, like a spillway structure, put in the middle of the
Well, let-
pond,
out
and
of
then the
it?
outlet would discharge down
Yeah.
toward a wetland. So that structure and discharge pipe were never installed. So that is what he will be installing, and because that discharge pipe is going into the wetland buffer, that is the reason for his need for the conservation permit to be extended.
So do we have a motion and a second to extend the order of conditions for 27 Scales Lane?
I will abstain from that.
There's a family, all right, I motion, request for OOC extension, 27 Scales Lane, TWB 2019-156. For the amount of, I guess it's gonna be 1 year, right? Which is gonna be bearing on
1 year.
1 year. He's gotta get it done with planning board, which is June, so, all right.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
James Dorn, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Mhm.
Kevin, you abstain?
I have to abstain, no, because as Mr. King is a family member.
Pat Gemel, yes.
August
What was it, the 31st for planning board of June?
Yeah.
30th.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was either through June or July. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's this summer. That's as long as Brett had requested.
I'll put a question mark on it. And he obviously knows of that, Jessica.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Doodle doodle doo.
We gotta,
Yawn.
Autumn just stepped out for a second, and she'll finish the agent report when we get back. And, moving on. A&R,
3 of them?
yeah, transmittal of A&R plan, Autumn.
Yes.
Well, you gotta finish your agent report, but I'll keep going with what I'm doing. 4.1, transmittal of A&R plan, 152 North End Road, 27 Bayberry Hill Road, and 23 Shirley Road. What are these? Oh, for the
Yep.
extension?
Yep.
Okay.
You go with the A&R.
Yeah. We have comment on any of these?
No comment, just transmittal.
Does anyone want to review these? Not that
Well, I'll make it public that number 152 North End Road has to be owned by myself.
152 what, Kevin? I didn't hear you.
152 North End Road, it's a transmittal. I happen to own that subject property.
Okay, so noted.
And that's an extension? No.
No, just an A&R
Application not required for,
approval, or, yeah, approval not required.
yeah. approval.
I only have 2 things to note to finish my report.
Did you have any follow-up with the, okay,
Everybody said with A&Rs?
well, yes.
Okay.
If you don't mind finishing your agent report.
Sure, I'll finish it.
These-
DAs were
and then-
issued for 42 and 22 West Meadow, 0 Riverbank Terrace, the right-of-way between 80 Main Street and Main Street, South Street intersection, and 97 Main Street. Last week, they were all issued,
Okay,
all
yeah.
the RDAs previously. And then I had a Board of Health interdepartmental signature for 99 Fitchburg.
For Brett. Yeah, just right abstain.
Okay, sorry, Kevin.
No, I didn't read it.
Is there
I was just
any
signing.
questions or comments regarding
Just write it
Autumn's
beside me.
agent report?
On what, 4.1?
1.7.
1.7, the agent report.
No.
Only one?
Oh,
No,
that's
he
right,
signed
all
all.
copies. Yeah, I did. I signed
Jessica,
all.
I don't know if you're there, if you want to add anything to it.
I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay. Um, We're going to emergency action plan for Townsend Harbor Pond Dam.
Uh-oh.
Autumn, you have.
I have it here.
this of it.
Do you remember when the woman came to speak about the Harbor Dam more recently?
Struthers, Lisa
Yep.
Struthers.
No, it was the woman who works for
Oh,
H&V. She came on remotely,
Mhm.
and so she provided this to us. So
Because
I,
H&B owns that dam,
Yep, that
Yeah.
dam
Water
and
rights.
the other dam,
And
West
the other one
Groton.
too. Yeah,
because they're paper mill.
they use that. They pull water from that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah,
they
I've known that for
discharge
years.
back into it cleaner than they jar it.
Amazingly so,
Yeah.
after the treatment of the paper and et cetera, et cetera. EPA has done a pretty good job pushing them into the right directions.
So this covers the emergency action plan if there was something to happen to the lower dam and it.
The lower dam's considered in Groton, right?
No, the lower dam is the Harbor Dam. So
We're the lower dam.
there's 3 dams. There's one in Groton, there's one in Townsend Harbor Dam. Isn't there one above that? No, there's only 2.
The Adams Dam was the one right here.
Well, that wasn't, that's been,
Someone has their
Okay.
hand up on.
That's Lisa Struthers.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
I was just, I looked over that EAP as well, which looked pretty thorough. Correct me if I'm wrong, but under section 3.0, under general responsibilities, Autumn, it's in the Townsend Emergency Management, and they list Shirley Coit, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Shirley retire?
He did.
Okay, so it's listed as Shirley Coit for the Townsend Emergency Management,
I don't know.
and it lists a phone number. I did cross-check this with the town website, and there's no number listed on the town website under
So yeah,
TEM.
it's not just Shirley, you got,
Phone number.
Chief Bailey, that isn't the chief anymore. You got Mark Boyan, who isn't the chief.
Yeah, so
fire
it's,
chief, yeah, they're way
it's
over,
So
gone.
Elisa, I didn't update them.
yeah. I just wanted to, I didn't notice the other ones, good catch. But I did, Shirley stood out to me. So in short, I read over this EAP and it's, it's all thorough, flow charts, all kinds of good stuff that address emergencies downstream. So I emailed Isabel, we've got a good communication going on, but it's still, there's nothing there that addresses, it hits the I-beam, South Street's flooded. So it's all good to cover the emergency action plan for the properties downstream in the event of a dam failure. So just want to let you know, I've emailed her. We were in communication during the last rain. They did open it 50%. And I had to email her because the water, I went down, I still go down and check. It's just force of habit. And there was about 3 inches to go before it hit the I-beam, which would cause the flooding here. So I emailed her and boom, they came right out and they opened it up full bore. And they've had to leave it open for several days at 100%. And the water today, just behind my house, just today went to the normal water level. So that speaks to what our ground is and how much water is coming down. Autumn, do you want help with any of these edits? Do you want me to reach out to her? Do you want to take care of it?
I can do it, but I always appreciate your assistance if you'd like to help.
Well, we just included each other on the emails.
Yeah, looks like, James, looks like you saw some other names too that perhaps were incorrect.
Well, yeah, the police chief and fire chief are
Long
Yeah.
gone.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Yeah, Mark Boynton's on there. And then should this, if this is going to be an official document, should this be on our website somewhere?
Yes, it should be when all the revisions are made.
Yeah, and there is no phone number listed for Townsend Emergency Management on the Townsend website. It just says 272 Main Street. So that was just another thing I caught as, if someone was looking.
So
Good to find out.
this is an update, information upgrade.
Excuse me, say that again.
This is an upgrade, updating information.
Well, this is,
Jimmy, you want me to email that to you?
Who, me? No, we don't, nobody emails me anything.
Yeah, no, we had requested that they share this with us, so now that they did, I wanted to make sure that you all knew that we received it and could review it.
right, so part of the whole thing is making this publicly available, which would be on the website and print somewhere.
Do we know if there's new people on it?
Well, this just needs to be upgraded. We have a different fire chief that's listed on here, different police chief.
Well, I understand that,
It
but
just needs to be updated. We
So
gotta figure out,
is it something you still want to be on?
we gotta figure out who's in charge of emergency management, like Lisa said,
I
it used
can
to be
do that,
Shirley.
yeah. I can find out.
We just gotta
And let
find
me
out.
know, and then I'd like to find out if we have a contact phone number, if there is an emergency in town, something similar to this, that.
Well, no, there should be, I don't know if Shirley was replaced, you guys.
I can't recall,
So in the instance where there isn't anyone for the emergency management, someone else
fire department.
right, and that should be probably noted. Again, I know.
There's a flow chart, Mr. Chair, there in one of the, as you scroll down through it.
Yeah.
Incident flow chart. And I think that it says the fire department somewhere.
Okay.
But I still, I'm gonna work with Isabel. We're talking back and forth about, it's still all about that I-beam that's gonna flood my house.
So, yeah.
But
and
I'm working with her on that, just to see if she's, she had told me that if it calls for rain over 2 inches in a 24-hour period, they were gonna open it up the day before. Didn't necessarily happen in the last rainstorm, but I did ask her, I said, will that become policy? Historically, as regimes change down at H&V, it's always kind of updating the new people. And so I'm really kind of getting with her to have a formal policy there at H&V and then have that shared with the town, just so everybody.
But because they own it.
Right, so I guess making sure that we have permission to post this on our website as well.
Yeah, that's probably gonna have to check with,
Thank you for your time, guys and women.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you working on this. Yeah, so we need permission from HNV to, just post this after it's all updated. So
But we might want to look down a little further into it, because there's, like I said, there's a flow chart and some other
yeah,
stuff that lists references to people who may or may not be in town anymore.
well, yeah, there's, every 2 years, there should be public meetings, to educate on emergency action plan. Evacuation routes should be discussed, emergency warning systems, preparation and situational awareness techniques.
Yeah, good read.
Forestry fire truck
Hold on.
was parked outside.
Look at it, we gotta stay on task. Go ahead, please. Oh, Cindy, we'll get to you. 2 seconds. Did you have anything else?
Lisa?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Whatever I can do to help, let me know.
Okay.
Cindy, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I just wanted to bring you guys up to date that when Shirley Coit retired, the fire chief took over FEMA. There's no separate organization FEMA anymore. It's now completely under the fire department. They've taken over emergency management.
Okay.
To save y'all trying to track that down, it's under the fire chief.
Thank you, because it's important.
Thank you, Cindy.
You know, it's all important, and we appreciate you chiming in. So we know there needs to be updates. Maybe we want to push them to have a public meeting for situational awareness.
Is that Cindy King?
That's, yeah, she's right.
I didn't know. She just said Cindy King. I couldn't tell the voice. That's Cindy King. All right.
She just answered that question.
Yeah.
Right. And that was during her time too.
Yeah, probably.
About the same time, so she's
Shirley
on
would have
that.
retired a few years back.
Right.
Really? She just retired.
She just retired?
Yeah. If I remember correctly.
Nice old woman. Nice woman.
She brought us brownies during the water main break.
Let's knock it off topic, James.
Yeah, let's stay on point. I'll talk about.
If you want to see fire trucks,
They can last a long time. Yeah.
So part of this, I'm going to reiterate, public meetings for situational awareness. We've had how many flooding rains this year?
No, I know.
We should push them to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know
That
what the
can
rain
be
situation's like.
an educational
An
topic.
annual thing or
I
semi-annual
agree.
thing.
Yeah.
But like you say, you should have almost the evacuation stuff.
Oh, it says it.
Oh.
Public meetings every 2 years.
Oh.
Yep.
Maybe we can have it. What?
I didn't see that.
So maybe, so let's explore having an event at the library to discuss or to offer information up to the public.
You have a lot on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Well, providing education to the public, if that's what we want. So.
I think we need more of that.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Cindy, thank you for your input. We'll look for an update at some point in the next meeting or two. There's a lot of stuff on this. Moving on, special town meeting, Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, 7 p.m. To discuss dedicated to the override for the Neshoba Valley Tech School District and North Middlesex Regional District budgets. And there is a shuttle for elderly people from the
Atwood Acres.
Atwood Acres.
Townsend Woods.
Yeah.
Education and conferences, MECC has classes running concurrently. Those are items for discussion at the next meeting.
Show them.
65 Main Street,
And we have 25 Worcester Road RDA.
What's 25?
It's a
No. Do you shuffle this to Adam?
Will, or she'll send it to Eric.
So from there, it goes to him.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to get that figured out.
it's figured out.
It's been
That's
figured
the
out. I
thing.
think it's been figured out. I think
But
somebody
the
just
same
didn't get
questions
it.
have been posed.
So maybe somebody should get
Right?
him straightened out.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was the request of have your lawyer join us on Zoom or in person.
Because he's playing games with all the verbiage and everything.
Right.
I just don't have the patience for that. Semantics.
Pat, do you have anything you
Let's make a motion. to adjourn.
Yeah.
want to add?
No.
Alright, so next meeting is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024 at 7 PM. And then Wednesday, April 10th, 2024 at 7. Board of Select Chamber second floor meetings are also held via virtual Zoom remote accordance with COVID-19 safety guidelines. Can I have a motion to adjourn at 8:35 or 8:36?
Second.
No, I need a motion, then I need a
Oh.
second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to adjourn the March, Wednesday, March, what's the date?
13.
March 13th, conservation meeting at 8:36.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Tim Dorian. Yes.
James Gates, yes?
Kevin Smith, yes.
At 10 a.m.
Thank you.